Secretary of State for the Home Department, Sarah Atherton.
Number 1, please, sir.
Home Secretary.
With permission, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to group this question with number 19. Net migration is too high, and this government is determined to bring it down. Indeed, that was one of the reasons why I voted and campaigned to leave the European Union in 2016. Last month, I announced measures to reduce the number of student dependents, which had soared by 35% coming to the UK, and to stop people transferring from student to work visas. We expect net migration to return to sustainable levels over time, and immigration policy is under constant review.
Secretary.
Mr. Speaker, we always keep the salary threshold under review. But as I said, net migration is too high and we need to get overall numbers down. How do we do that? Well, employers need to recruit more people already here rather than advertise abroad so much. We also need to get more people off welfare and back into economic activity, and our welfare reforms will help that objective. And we cannot ignore the pressures that record levels of people coming to the UK put on housing supply, public services and on community relations. That's why we need to focus on lowering net migration.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Will the Home Secretary wish the Deputy Chairman of the Conservative Party a speedy recovery from the terrible sick bug which I understand has prevented him from launching this morning an entirely different Conservative immigration policy to the policy of the Conservative Home Secretary? And does she agree with him that social care visas should be cancelled? Yes or no?
Home Secretary.
Well, Mr. Speaker, the sorry fact of the matter here is that Labour want open borders and unlimited migration. And there's a real malaise descending upon the Labour Party. They don't even know what they think, to be honest. Labour's Sadiq Khan has said he wants more migration. Labour's party chairman has confirmed that numbers could rise under a Labour government. And the Shadow Home Secretary, when she was asked about whether she wanted net migration to rise or fall, in characteristic style that we've come to know and love, couldn't even answer the question. Mr. Speaker, that's what you always get with Labour.
Can I just say you've no responsibility for the Labour Party? I think, in fairness, it is Home Office question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I know how seriously the Minister takes dealing with the legacy backlog, but as the Home Secretary showed at the recent Home Affairs Select Committee, in order to deal with that backlog in the time frame the government has set itself, it would require at least a quadrupling of the number of cases being dealt with as from the 1st of June. And even with the extra 500 at Stoke just appointed, that is going to be challenging. So will the Minister give me assurance that if we've not actually managed to clear the backlog before the end of the year, that it will not be done by a blanket amnesty?
Minister.
Well, my honourable friend makes an important point, and the Home Secretary, the Prime Minister and I explicitly chose not to pursue the blanket amnesty approach that the last Labour government pursued. Instead, we put the hard yards in to improve productivity by streamlining processes, reducing unnecessary bureaucracy, ensuring that where appropriate interviews were conducted in a timely fashion, and recruiting more decision makers. Since my right honourable friend, the Home Secretary, appeared before the committee, I'm pleased to say that the data coming out of our caseworking team is very strong. We are seeing significant progress. As I just said, the last week, the early indication suggests was the best for over 4 years. Well, the approach that the Home Secretary and I have taken has been both to ensure that where there are high grant rate nationalities, cases are pursued swiftly, but also where there are very low grant rates, like Albanians, where these are individuals from a safe European country and can and should be returned as quickly as possible, that we do just that. And at this point in the year, last year, 30% of those arriving from on small boats were coming from Albania. Today, it's less than 2%. So that arrangement is making good progress. But my right honourable friend does make an important point, which is that those who suggest you can simply grant your way out of this problem, I'm afraid, are hopelessly naive. The idea that the individuals coming across on small boats are, in the most cases, going to make a significant net contribution to our economy are wrong. The costs to the taxpayer are very significant. The ongoing support in terms of education, access to welfare and community cohesion are very significant, and that's why we need to stop the boats in the first place.